here in the inside of the knee called your MCL. You might have heard some players go through, like our player report had an MCL injury out for like 6-8 weeks. Generally, for kids under the age of 12, there's not much of a risk for injuries like that. But when the level of competitiveness gets higher with the ages, there's a lot more high risk for knee injuries. And that's actually what prevents you from returning to the sports as soon as possible. Now, anyway, I want you to try and just stand up still. Don't let me push you over. Yeah? So imagine he has the ball, someone's going for a tackle. Pretty easy to push over. Now, the most common mechanism for when you do have a knee injury, especially in the MCL, is when a player goes on for a side tackle and then the knee buckles in. Yeah, so generally that crocodile movement, or whenever, let's say he's held, but another player comes in from the side, that's generally when the knee is most vulnerable for the MCL. So how do we prevent it is making sure that you guys are implementing good core strength, but also hip strength during your training to be able to prevent MCL is like really crucial. Do you want to try just even get into a slight bend, a slight squat? That will be much easier. So even teaching players not how to tackle correctly, but how to receive a tackle, we want to be just kind of really important to tell them when they're even running with the ball and they haven't been tackled to the ground, try not to just stand still, try not to lock your legs, but even just slightly bending your hips, super crucial. And then lastly, maybe today, just to wrap up, who here ices an injury after they get up, get ankle sprain or something hurts? Well, you guys are doing it wrong. So you know Rice, the doctor that came up with it 2 years ago, came up and said, you know what guys, I was wrong. So essentially our body swells up and the inflammation that's put on it is actually going to help with the healing. So on the handouts, I gave you another acronym, but it's called peace and love. If I was to summarize, essentially we want to avoid icing it. We want to just be able to protect the area, but keep it moving and do what you can pain-free.